Listen, thanks a million for being here tonight. Your support is always hugely appreciated. I mean, it goes without saying that you're the arm of the organisation that's sort of unsung heroes, and it's great to have the support tonight, tomorrow, whenever we get it. So, without further ado, I'm going to, if I can ask, a round of applause for Rob Penney, the Munster coach. If you can hear me, Rob, thank you very much. And one of Munster's, I think there's only about 5 or 6 or 7 guys who have been capped over 200 times, and one of them is one of Ireland's famous, one of the great wing forwards of any generation, Mr. David Wallace. Thank you, David. Just the Wally has lost a sense of direction since he left the country. You'll be grand.
Sense of direction is never any good.
Thank you for the warm welcome, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. I've got 3 sons. One's 20 back home. He's an apprentice arborist, which equivalent of a tree doctor, if you like. So he's up and down trees with chainsaws. And I've got my 2 other lads here, 17, just turned 17 the end of October, just turned 15 the end of October. They're going to Christians.
Who does their uniforms?
Yeah. Some guy that charges a lot of money. So they've really settled in well. It's if you could imagine yourselves as adolescents being uplifted from one environment, one culture, and being taken around the world and stuck into another one with very little warning. I've just got nothing but admiration for my boys going through what they've gone through, leaving their peer group behind and their mates, and having to re-establish a group back here, over here, which is, they've been warmly welcomed, which is wonderful, and rugby's done a great service to sort of allow them to meet new people and make some good friends.
From what I've seen, the future's very bright, and the one thing I was saying to Rob there just before we came in is there's a lot of similarities from when I started to what I see now. Is that there's a big core group of young players who all kind of are battling together, from a young age. They're coming through together underage, and all seem to be coming through now as one, and that makes it a team spirit very special, and that helps to, I suppose, build a unity and a bond between the guys that will hopefully last for many years to come, 10 years to come. So the signs are very encouraging.
Question for Rob. I know you were coaching the New Zealand under-20s at the Junior World Cup. While you were there, were you keeping an eye on your future Munster players, the likes of JJ and the others that were in the Irish squad at that tournament?
Yeah, very good question. Just around coaching the New Zealand under-20s in South Africa earlier in the year, keeping an eye on the Irish boys, of course. JJ's got a great future, I think. There's the boy Scanlon, that was the hooker from who's playing in Cork, and so those 2 lads, and there was a loose forward too that's up from this way. Can someone tell me his name? No. James was the other hooker.
Shane Buckley.
Shane Buckley, that's it. So I think they were the 4 lads from the Munster region. Yeah, no, they performed really well. Really well, really excited about the guys pushing the talent that is currently pretty young from underneath again, so it's good value. Good.
I was just wondering what the panel think of the Aviva Premiership with the TMO able to intervene and stop the match for foul play, and it's only in the Premiership at the moment, and do they think it's a good idea, and should it be brought in to rather direct?
That'd be one for you, Dave.
I thought you were going to ask about quad or something like that.
Definitely one.
What about it? That was a turn for the books, wasn't it? I mean, I suppose the one issue you have with it is it stopping the game as it's going on? But for something like dirty play or something like that, you can see right that there might be an issue for it. But I suppose you look at when they brought in the TMO for tries, and then half the time they go to it and it's clearly obvious, and you kind of say, well, why do they have to do it? And do they have to do that every time now? But yeah, so it's something that if it's managed right, you know, it's definitely a place for it.
Rob, where do you see you're going to use JJ Hangman? Will you use him at out half or centre? And also, where would you like to use CJ? I know he's out now for a few weeks, but where would you like to see CJ? 6, 7 or 8?
I'll answer your second one first, if that's right. CJ, not sure yet. I think he's we've only seen him for a game and a half, and what explosiveness and ability he has to break the line, and he's just got some genuine and unique ability. We've still got some areas of his game that need to be refined, but I think he could play equally well at 6 and 8 in the short term, and he could do a job at 7, as we've already seen. JJ, I'm really excited about his future at 10, and he just needs some time in the saddle there, and all young teams just need to be there regularly and getting some exposure, and he might even spend some time at 12. From my experience, even going back to my very early coaching days when Andrew Mertens was the Canterbury 10 and Daniel Carter started to come on the scene. Daniel Carter played probably 2 or 3 seasons sort of at 12 and at 15 from time to time before he embedded himself into the 10 jersey. And I think that grounding, is just priceless at the end of the day, with being able to utilise Rog, at his stage of his career and helping him, or trying to get him to help some of those young blokes coming through around him. So hopefully that answers your question.
Munster is probably unique in having its players based in 2 different kind of training facilities. Have you found that a hindrance in establishing your game plan?
I don't think it's ideal, but I think the uniqueness has some unique benefits as well. It's something that's been managed well till now. Touch wood, it doesn't happen. Asking the lads to get in their car for 3 hours and one group having to travel through what aren't the easiest roads at times, particularly in the middle of winter, it's a bit frightening. That we get a phone call at some point and one of the cars doesn't turn up. As I say, touch wood, that nothing like that does happen. And I think if you can mitigate any of those risks by getting a centre that meets everybody's needs, and that includes the wider Munster community, then it will be beneficial at the end of the day. The ability to have a group together pretty much 24/7 is where probably the organisation should look to go to in the future. And I know there's been a lot of discussion around that. And just because of the amount of education and the amount of the benefits in terms of the growth and the time that people can spend together and less time on the road could be put to better use. And I know, just talking with the players, and you know this better than I, it's pretty tough after a tough training session going to sit in the car for an hour and a half, hour and a quarter. You feel pretty stiff and sore at the end of that, by the time you get home. So there's obviously a lot of history around the double centres and how it's worked and how it's operated in this organisation, and there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of thought put into how it could be potentially centralised and the benefits of that. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next period of time.
You really are something that makes our job so much better and easier to do, so much more fulfilling, and we hope that tomorrow we can give you some sort of payback for that. But again, just for tonight, we just thank you most sincerely for your time, for your patience, for your attention, and for your basic marvellous support. So on behalf of Rob and David Wallace, thank you all very, very much.